Hey. Okay. What's going on, everybody? WBC, anyone? Oh, look who won. Look who won. Oh, I know it's been a while, been a minute, but I'm still in it. Just a few minutes of your time. Just want to talk, just chat. What's going on with the ball bats? Let's get it. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live. And boy, I got some things to share with you today. Yeah. That's my sugar. That's my sugar. The vibes are crazy. If you didn't know, down in Miami yesterday for the World Baseball Classic, of which I was in attendance and got to see this shenanigans firsthand. And I'm so geeked to be back. Now, I typically am not going to more than likely be able to do a lot of my baseball content until the actual season starts, but I definitely been tuning in for this WBC, and I made my way down to Lone Depot Park to get myself a first-hand experience as to what it was like to be amongst this vibe everybody been talking about, because that's what you've been hearing a lot about, right? Like the whole Venezuelan Latin explosion vibe, how it's just completely nuts, how they go crazy for everything, how they launch bats instead of flipping bats. And it's the truth. Every last bit of it is the truth. So please walk with me through this journey as I give you a play-by-play description as to what it is that happened to me, including being caught up in a tornado this Sunday in St. Louis, just prior to arriving back in Florida, where I was able to get to the game by this much time. Like I literally got there at like 7:53 and press pass closes at 8, and I had to run around a bunch of different gates and all that. It was crazy. But let's go ahead and get right on into the headline. Y'all know what it is. It's On the Black with your boy, the real Vince Taylor, powered by none other than MLB Bro. Let go. Storm. Alrighty, well, like I said, what's that? Like I said, man, I had an opportunity to go down and get a firsthand experience with the WBC, and it did not disappoint. So don't go nowhere. You're gonna get you're gonna get my depictions of what all happened, including me and my interview with Willson Contreras, if you can call it an interview, I guess, with Bryce Harper, and also, of course, my interview with the one and only Buck Truck, Mr. Buxton himself, and his parents, believe it or not. Check this out. I done ran into Mr. and Mrs. Buxton. This is the man responsible for the Buck Truck sign right here, and he refused to quit working. So yeah, we'll get into all that in just a moment. But real quick, thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in, you're a baseball fan, especially if you like your baseball with flavor, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and follow your boy, because I will be covering the MLB this season along with MLB Bros. Shout out to my homie JR Gamble, the Gambler, and to Rob. We all know Uncle Rob, and for giving us the opportunity to get on out there and discover what all it is that's going on in the world with our flavor behind it. And okay, all right, I may have to put this on pause for a second because I can. Oh my goodness, did this dude just pull up? Wow, that is crazy. Anyway, so let's go over what all it is. So I went on down there. Like I said, I was in a tornado. Yes, the whole, like, if you was in St. Louis, for my St. Louis folks, then you know that this Sunday was a doozy. Not only was there a tornado warning, not watch, but warning, as in I'm talking sirens like loud all in St. Louis, telling you to get to shelter, get to the basement. I had a couple people that was in the aquarium that went to the basement, that was in the movie theater that had to go to the closet. It was a whole mess, but I somehow still managed to get there on time. And I got there with enough time for me to see all of the cool stuff that happened in the beginning of the WBC, one of which was just how cool it is to see them stand across from each other when they're doing the national anthems with each other. And I'm going to show y'all all of these different vibes because there were definitely some vibes. But check this out. Like, you can even see like how big of a deal it is when they're just like singing the national anthem. Just kind of peep these vibes for a second, if you will. And you just tell me if you notice like the colors, notice who's standing. And even I didn't have this on there, but you can go on Twitter. You'll see that the Venezuelan players sang this as if they was on American Idol. It's a whole vibe. Check it out right now. Now this is happening, and I'm watching this from the press box, which frankly the press box was hot. It was hella hot, and I get it's Miami and all that, but it was like 40, 50 degrees. It shouldn't have been. I mean, but it was a lot of body heat, more than likely was the case. So yeah, this happens. We get to see the national anthem for both of the teams, and then we off to the races. Now, you all already know what the outcome was. We all already know that the Venezuelan team, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The Venezuelan team actually pulled off a game winner, and it wasn't even like it was really, it was close, but it was so long that they had the lead that it felt like the game was over by the time that they got their second, by the time that we got into the last few innings. I mean, look at this in terms of a box score for a second. So if you notice, it's all the way up until the 8th inning. You got all these zeros for the United States. All of them zeros. Okay, now don't get me wrong. They had a couple of hits, mainly from, I believe it was Bobby. No, it wasn't even Bobby Witt. Well, it was Terang. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bryce Terang. Sorry, they kind of have similar build. So he got one hit, but the other two hits came from none other than Mr. Bryce Harper himself, who I actually have newfound respect for, legit newfound respect. Because one of the things that I'd love to see in this WBC was seeing actual players play the way they want to play and not have to act. And by act, what do I mean? I mean, they don't have to act like they've been there before. Like a lot of these MLB players like to try to make a lot of other countries and a lot of other cultures feel like that's what they're supposed to do. Like as if you hitting a 102-mile-an-hour home run that was aiming at your head outside of a park by 400 feet is not something worth celebrating. And then they go and turn around and try to make it seem like if you do celebrate, then you somehow showing up the pitcher or you showing up the players. No, you're not. You're playing the game. Let's not forget, y'all even like to call this a kid's game, which I still have my issues with. I don't think it's a kid's game. It's a game that can be played by kids, but it's also played by adults. But I just get so annoyed when people are telling other people to act in a way that is unnatural to them, that is inauthentic to them, at the threat of being hit by a pitch or having one of their players get hit by a pitch. It's so freaking stupid. It annoys me so much. So when I see the Venezuelan players out there doing their Jalisco and all of this other stuff, and when I see Dominican Republic, when I see Puerto Rico, when I see all of them going completely ham because they are doing well, I love it. I love it. I want to see more of the Ronald Acuna throwing up the Junior Caminero bat launches that go all the way up into the sky. And guess who did finally catch on? Who? Your boy Bryce. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But let's not start there. Let's start with the MVP of the game, who was none other than Mr. Miguel Garcia of the Kansas City Royals. And yes, he had prove because he has to stand next to who other than the one and only Bobby Witt Jr. all the time, who collects every accolade. He's given the title Bobby Baseball, but he's sitting here like, yo, I play good too. And this is coming off of him finally getting his extension, coming off of him getting his extension. So he's going to be a Royal for a little bit, but now he gets to step back into that clubhouse with a little more clout. Like, yo, not only did I get the MVP, but I did it over one of the best players in the game who was on the other side of the team, or was on the other side of the fence with me in this game. And another thing for Kansas City Royals fans, boy, y'all should really have a good year this year. I mean, you have Mr. Mikael, I like saying Mikael, I know it's Michael, but Mr. Garcia, who will be showing up this year because now he has a reputation to uphold. And you also still got Savvy online, who did show his management skills in this and is still in his mid-30s. He's still got a few years coming in, you know what I'm saying? And you also have Vinny Pasquantino, who essentially single-handedly put Italia on the map in this WBC with the espresso shots and with the and with the Armani suit, and just kind of making baseball look as fun as it actually is when it's not necessarily being watched on TV, even though for me, I still think it's fun watching it on TV, but for some reason, some people don't believe so. But anyway, so yeah, Michael Garcia, whatever you want to call him, he had his moment. I was able to catch a little bit on tape, and I wanted this. Now, listen, I know you can see these on TV. I know you saw these already, probably on MLB Network, maybe on Foul Territory, maybe on something on another different outlet that you watch. Don't get me wrong, Fox, whatever. But I want these clips to be the authentic audio from the Venezuelan crowd that you hear from just a regular spectator, so to speak. And I want you to hear how loud the crowd is, how they don't even let much of the players speak when it's time for them to speak, when it is for them, when they get the microphone. Check them on out. Now, mind you, the game over, but it's still sold out. Everybody's still in their seats. They still happy. Of course, not all of the USA fans, but most of the Venezuelan folks is still sitting there in their seats, still just as happy about this win. And there's more to be said. Let's go. As they do their interviews, obviously, he just is getting his MVP award because he was the one, if I'm not mistaken, that did help bat in the very first run, which was an RBI. And what's cool about it is you keep hearing these folks talk about, oh, this is a family. You heard Eugenio Suarez saying, yo, we play because we a family and we a family. Yes, they a family. And they actually are family. Like, Ronald Acuna is Michael Garcia's cousin, and them ain't the only family members on the team. You also have the Contreras brothers, both Contrerases, William and Mr. Willson, of course, who you know is one of my favorite players on the Cardinals. And I did get an opportunity to speak with him as well. And I spoke with him about his relationship with none other than Mr. Daniel Palencia, because Daniel Palencia, if you recall, actually he had let's just call it maybe a hurtful experience with back in 2025 when he played the Cubs in the ninth inning. I'm going to go over all of that with you, but let's just say it might have ended with the HBP. Ooh, yes. We're going to talk about how he had to actually face his teammate who he had a little bit of beef with, let's just say, and wasn't looking all that happy about necessarily sharing the field with him at one point in time last year. But I digress. For right now, let's go ahead and give Venezuela the flowers it deserves. Venezuela did not just beat the U.S. because they didn't put Mason Miller in at the end. That's not the story. Venezuela did not just beat the U.S. only because Judge kept striking out. That's not the story. USA did not just beat, Venezuela did not just beat the U.S. because Mark DeRosa said something crazy on Hot Stove. That's not the story. The story is that Venezuela beat all of the good teams except for DR, who's kind of like their cousin in this, even though I know Venezuela's landlocked and DR is a whole island. Well, actually, it's half an island, and that's a whole other subject because they kind of like roommates with Haiti. It's like a 2-bed, 1-bath island. It's a duplex, as I like to call it in my set. But listen, Venezuela didn't just beat the United States. They also beat the reigning champs in Japan, okay? And Japan has the Otanis, the Seiya Suzuki's, even though he got hurt. It has the Yamamotos, and that didn't stop Venezuela from running through them as well. And not only running through them, but actually coming back from having a deficit of runs and still beating them. And the team that during the only loss that USA had on their record came from Italia. And guess who beat Italia? And it was Venezuela. Oop, yep. And guess when Venezuela beat Italia? They beat Italy the night before. They beat them the night before. USA had a whole night of rest. They didn't have to play on Monday because they beat the Dominican Republic on Sunday. Paul Skeens beat the Dominican Republic on Sunday. And yeah, I know they had 2 runs. I get it. But Paul Skeens single-handedly shut down that crazy Dominican Republic lineup that I was unfortunately unable to attend that game, which I would have if I didn't have a tornado hit me while we was in our hometown of St. Louis. But we ain't going to talk about that right now. We're just going to go ahead and keep on going. So let's go ahead and go to some of the key moments of this game. One of the key moments, of course, was when they first finally scored. I mean, was when the first score was with Mikhail Garcia. I keep saying Mikhail. I swear that's how you say it. I know it's spelled Michael, but Mikhail Garcia finally knocked his cousin in with an RBI, giving them their first one. And that, if I'm not mistaken, was in the 3rd inning. Let me go ahead and fact check myself so I ain't giving a bunch of, 3rd inning. Hallelujah. And then 2 innings later, Wilyer Abreu ended up hitting a home run that he hit when there was 0 outs, by the way. So they still had the home run. After the home run, they still had 3 outs to lose. And this is all on Nolan McLean. Nolan McLean, who had his breakout year last year with the Mets and pitched right up into what would have been the playoffs, was pretty good. I mean, his ERA last year was like right around 2, but it was only, I don't think he only played like 6 or 7 games, but that don't matter. It's still impressive. But unfortunately, he got knocked around this game, and it wasn't even close. Well, maybe it depends on your perspective. Let's take a look at what type of stats the pitcher was looking at. So if you look at this, right, you'll notice that Eddie Rodriguez, or E-Rod as they kept calling him, had just about the same number of innings pitched as Nolan, except that he went for 1 extra batter, okay? But look, only 1 hit off of Eduardo, while there was 4 off of Nolan McLean, right? You only had 1 walk off of Eduardo, and you had that same 1 walk off of Nolan McLean. But Nolan McLean owns the 2 runs of which they were ahead by the first 7 innings, or should I say first 8.5 innings that they had a lead for. All right, I shouldn't say the first. All right, well, you know what I mean. I mean, it was up until the 8.5 inning, up to the middle of the 8th inning in which they actually had the lead, even though they didn't have the lead until the 3rd inning. I don't gotta explain that to you. You smart, you important, you know what to do. So if you look at this is the story. This is actually the story. It's the number of hits that they were able to put together. They actually had, look at this. There were 6 hits. 6 hits, guys. 6, 7. 6 hits, 6 hits. Yeah, 6 hits here. All right. Off of this, supposed to be so wonderful. Now, let's keep it real. For the USA fans, let's be honest. It felt like it was hard to come by really good pitchers other than Paul Skeens. Like Tark Skubal, it felt like he was basically pushed out there and had to because he was getting what felt like patriotic pressure, you know? And well, I've been here a little bit and I might want to stay a little bit. Okay, that's cool. But I can understand. I mean, Turk just won his arbitration case and he doesn't want to mess anything up that could potentially cause him to not get the full $500 million contract that he's looking for once he goes to free agency after this year. So I can kind of understand that a little bit. Although my thing is, if you were going to be willing to pitch one game, why not let that one game be a game of greater significance than of, say, I don't know, pitching against Great Britain, which no disrespect to all of those brothers that was on the Great Britain team, but I think that his arm would have been better served pitching against Venezuela. Don't you think? But maybe he was like, look, this is my cutoff date. And that was one of the things that I thought that was a little bit undersung was the fact that Mark DeRosa had to play. He had to, I mean, he wasn't just managing. He was also like babysitting. He had to not only make sure he could put up the best lineup, put up the best rotation, but also do it in a manner that doesn't impact their future season play. And he had to coordinate with each of the teams to make sure that they get what they want or don't have anything happen with that pitcher for the WBC, like such as Mason Miller, who I saw for the first time and is gigantic. I don't know why when I see Mason Miller, but I always thought I'd be taller than him, but I'm not. And I'm 6'2". That dude is huge and he's scary looking. So the Reaper thing, it definitely fits. But I think that's a little crazy, but we'll talk about that a little later. So yeah, so now you have 2 runs on the board that one is an RBI and the other is a home run, which is from Wilyer Abreu. And that vibe, if you notice, if you look after that 5, it stayed consistent. After the 5th inning was consistent. It was all Venezuela for all of that time. We're talking parties, bongos, we talking trumpets, it was just going completely crazy up in there, man. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I caught the buzz. I thought the vibe was pretty sick. I couldn't help but get caught up in it myself. I mean, not that I went around dancing or nothing, but I definitely did see a lot of folks dancing, and I took some videos and took note in some places, and I just thought that some of these were actually a little bit funny. Let me see if I could pull up. I saw this one dude who literally was walking around with a trumpet, bro. Like, it was funny to me because I was like, what exactly is he gonna do with this? Oh, it wasn't a trumpet, it was a trombone. And this is only one of the instruments I seen. I saw multiple. There it is. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I wonder how he got through security, because they wouldn't let me through security with my little light. They were like, that's too big, sir. I'm like, hold on, man. Is this not on the list of permitted instruments? I saw that. I saw a dude who dyed his hair with Venezuela all over. I thought that was pretty cool. It was completely nuts. And not to mention the fact that, like I said, don't go nowhere, because I'm going to explain this to y'all as soon as I get an opportunity, because this right here was kind of nuts to me. Man, I'm not from Venezuela, man, so I don't know, man. These dances must be something that goes on in Caracas. I have no idea, but either way. All right. So meanwhile, while all this is happening, you got the Venezuelan crowd going crazy. They wearing Mava hats. Yeah, Mava hats. I said it. Take your time. Not the Bob ads, bro. Yeah, so you got to think, man. All right, so Bryce Harper scores, right? Well, excuse me. The 8th inning comes. Venezuela's feeling real good about themselves. They've been leading the game pretty much the entire game since the 3rd inning when they hit that RBI in. And not to mention the fact that Ronald Acuna, before I could even get settled in, after first at bat was on base. I mean, it was a little chopper, but yeah, my man got on base, and it was a whole vibe. Now that was all cool, and then all of a sudden you hear this loud noise from a bat from a dude that plays for Philly, and I want to show a couple different views to y'all real quick. This is what it looks like to those of y'all that watched it on television. It looked a little something like this right here. For those who don't recall, let me see. Yeah, this is it. Now, Bryce actually, oh my goodness, did something that I didn't think I would see anybody from Team USA do. So I'm going to back it up for this very moment just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Check this out. Here goes Bryce Harper about to take his swing. And how exactly does he take this swing? Well, let's just see.
Harper sends a fly ball to deep center field. Better late than never. Bryce Harper has tied the championship.
Now watch this, watch this, watch this. Yes. Come on. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Sends a fly ball to deep center field. Better late than never. Bryce Harper has tied the champion.
Tied the game up, and the U.S. crowd went wild. Like the USA finally had something to cheer for. But what I love about this is after you saw Junior Caminero do his bat launch, after you saw all of those other bat launches going straight up into the sky, you finally see some emotion from a USA team member. Look at it. Look at that. Yes, Bryce, it's okay to look at the camera. Yes, it's okay to cheer on your crowd. Yes, it's okay to hype up your team. It's okay to even take a quick stop at third base and start walking. Give off a salute. It is okay. Why? Because it's a fucking game, man. It's a game. Does Machado now look and say, no, I'm going to hit the next batter because I feel like he showed me out? No, because it's a game. It's a game. And you should be able to do that. Stop. Look. Quick stop, which is where you normally would see that's Ellie. Who does the that's who does the that's Ketel Marte does the little shot right there at the third base. So yeah, when Bryce does this, bro, I was so happy because I was like, look at that. So the USA can actually emote and not feel ashamed about it. He didn't have to act like he never did it before, even though he's done it before. Like Bryce Harper has literally done this before. He did it in the 2022 World Series. He did it in, I think, the 2017 WBC. Like, this is not something that he's never done before, but he's acting like he's never done it before. And that's fine because he has never done it before. He has never played Team Venezuela in the WBC finals. And definitely never had to come back from a 2-0 deficit in the the bottom of the eighth inning, where they were 3 outs away from losing. I mean, 4 or 5 outs away from losing. Why should he have to conceal his emotions? He should be exactly the way he is. He, I think, did a perfect blend. If you watch him carefully, you'll notice that he did do the jog. He was professional, but he had a bat launch. I don't know if they showed that on this clip, but he actually threw his bat up in the air, threw it into the air. All right, yeah, so it looked like they didn't show it in this clip, but he literally threw the bat over at his dugout and was like, come on, let's go. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, this is what it looks like for those that saw it from the couch. But for those who didn't see it from the couch, this is what it looked like to people that were actually in the stands. But more importantly, this is what it sounded like. And you'll see some United States excitement here as well. Let's go. crazy. This is crazy. And then, of course, the judge goes up after that and
Oh my God. Oh my God.
so yeah, finally the USA showed some energy, including those in the stands, and it got quiet for the Venezuelan crowd for about half an inning after that. Because for the first time in that whole entire experience, they had to face adversity. But some could say that they definitely lived up to the role and was able to deliver. Look at Rocco. Look at all the natural energy. All right, so let me stop this. So I want you to realize that Bryce Harper does not exert that energy. If this is a home game in Philly where he's playing against the Braves, he exerts this energy because he knows he's up against a very energetic team that will emote, that will throw their bats up, that will talk to the crowd, that will talk to their team. And so that gave him the freedom to feel like he could do the same. So just watch. Look at how Bryce Harper is conducting himself. He don't normally act like this. He's not normally out there trying to actually beef up his team like this. He doesn't normally go off and look at the camera and salute on third base and walk. He doesn't normally point at the emblem that's embroidered on his jaw. He doesn't normally go and then just do a whole bunch of greetings for his team that are essentially trying to meet him at home plate. This is WBC energy. But why can't it be MLB energy? It should be. Some could argue that Bryce could have been perhaps voting like this the whole entire time and might have had a different result. But I don't think that works like that. I don't think that vibes always determine. I think vibes are indicative of how well the team is gelling. But at the same time, it's not a necessity for you to be able to win. But let's just call it what it is. Bryce was doing three things when he did this. He was doing three things. The first thing he did was troll. He was trolling, y'all. He was trolling. Oh, he was absolutely trolling. Don't talk to me. He was trolling. When he threw that bat up, he was doing it because he had seen the Latino players doing it. He was like, all right, I'm going to do that shit too. And why shouldn't he? And I hope you keep doing it. And guess what? None of the Latin players were offended. None of them felt like you was trying to show them up. None of them felt like you had to get hit or one of your teammates had to get hit because you decided to be happy about hitting the ball that was thrown hard towards your hands. Because it's a hard sport and you should be able to celebrate. And I'm glad he did. And I hope the Team USA will walk away knowing that that is okay. Now, listen, if you want to be Matt Olson and you don't want to show no emotion and you want to jog around, that's all fine and dandy. Just don't frown on people that don't want to be like that. Let people be Randy and Rosarena. Let people be Junior Caminero. Let people be I mean, Jeffrey Yon's a little bit much. I know everybody don't like when you jump up and down when you pitch and strike somebody out in the first inning. But at the same time, let people be what they want to be. Remember, this is sports, and sports is, guess what? Entertainment. So don't tell people how to entertain. That's like Bill Cosby trying to tell Eddie Murphy not to cuss when they both had their own audiences. And you can do what it is that you do without having to worry about somebody trying to dictate how you conduct yourself. So big up to you, Bryce. Thank you for standing up. And I'll tell you what happened afterwards with this interaction that we had here where, he kind of gave me a couple words and, I'll get into all that in a second. So then Venezuela comes up. And as you know, Luis Arias takes a walk. They substitute in Sanoja from Miami. He's still second base. And then after that, get the Eugenio Suarez run where he goes, the hit where he actually sends Sanoja home. And it was loud, boy. It was loud as hell. Took the lead just like that, man. How crazy is that? So now they got the lead, and all they have to do is keep it through the last couple outs. And once they did finally get, once the sides had to switch, they did go back on. And yes, Palencia, none other than Mr. Palencia, Daniel, to be exact, of the Cubs, delivered a closing role that only he could, because got to remember, he also played the night before. They're actually bringing back out pitchers, which is something that only Yamamoto's been doing. This is crazy. One thing you got to think about is, maybe is it now to possibly accept the possibility that the USA is at their best when they're not homogenous, huh? When they're actually diversified. Can we say that some of the best players in the last World Series were A, Vladdy, B, Mr. Andy Paez out in the outfield, who caught the ball when it was when it was bases loaded. We're gonna talk about Miggy Rowe with LA. Obviously, these are some big names that did their thing. Yeah, you got your Trey Savages, and you definitely have your George Springers. But man, some of those Latin and the international players, including one that rhymes with Lamalolo, you need them to, I would suppose, supplement the energy from, or the lack thereof, from the USA players. And maybe what we're learning is, without that flavor on the team, maybe they're not as powerful as we may thought that they were. I mean, good grief. You've got Aaron Judge, who essentially bats like darn near 400, and you got Cal Raleigh, who also was an MVP candidate, who essentially had no hits the entire WBC. It's kind of it's giving we need help. Send for some additional reinforcements, no matter what country they come from, as long as they can play. And so, yeah, that's what it's given, but we'll save that for another time. So, yeah, meanwhile, while all this is happening, everybody is going completely nuts, and a whole entire party breaks out. Like I showed you all before, it gets completely crazy. The Mava crowd comes out. You now have people who are showing off their Venezuela, make Venezuela great again hats. It's just a whole thing, man. It's a little crazy, but I love it. I love it. And again, the sound, y'all. Sound. Listen. Yeah, all right. So I might have gone a little further on this video than I expected, but check it out. There are clear differences with the way that the USA team's fans celebrate and the other ones. Check this one out right here real quick. So all of that was fine and dandy. And after this happens, I'm just kind of elated because I hadn't been in an environment this loud, this cool, this energetic. And it was all true. Everything that I was hearing about these the WBC just being a whole nother vibe. So I had an opportunity to speak to a couple of the players, not all of them, but yeah, I had an opportunity to speak to a good chunk. And when I did, I just wanted to ask them some questions. One of the folks that I got a chance to talk to was literally one of my favorite players in the whole entire world for the time being. As me being a Cardinals fan, I gotta love the Cards. And this was a former Cardinal, yeah, the one that used to eat tape. Remember him? Uh-huh. So yeah, this guy right here, Mr. Willson Contreras, he gave me an interview, even though he's no longer a Cardinal and is officially now a Boston Red Sox. I still approached him kind of like a Cardinal. I mean, I got his jersey and everything. And the thing I wanted to holler at him about, if we being honest, was I know that he had to play with Daniel Palencia. Daniel Palencia, who, again, close. Now, he, back in 2025, had an incident with Daniel Palencia where he actually got hit. And it was a whole scene. And Willson is a hothead. So most of the time he be ready to fight. And he got hit so many times last year. And also keep in mind, he got hurt in 2024 because he got hit by a pitch. And that was after he had recovered from getting his forearm broke and recovering in about 4 or 5 weeks when he was trying to steal a pitch from, I think it was Justin Martinez, from Martinez. And now he is back with the WBC, but he's playing with the guy who sent this to his dome. The dude on the mound is Daniel Palencia, both of them from Venezuela. And look who's chirping. Look who's chirping. Hit him right up top, darn near by his lip, bro. Yeah, so he like, nah, man. And you got to keep in mind, that's like the 8th or 9th time that Willson that got hit. He is tired of it. He is over it. He is so tired of being hit. And not to mention the fact he is a former Cub. So this is his former team hitting him. You think he's happy about that? Hell nah. So yeah, there was some chirping. There was definitely some chirping. And it definitely didn't get any better when Willson got to the base and he's basically, yo, you ain't punch me. You ain't punch out. He said, no ponche nada. No ponche nada. He's like, all right, I'm gonna see you, B. No ponche nada. You ain't punching nada. You ain't strike me out. He basically saying, you ain't strike me out, homeboy. You said that you had to hit me. You had to hit me. Or either you just can't. He tries to say, oh, just those strikes. You say, nah, you ain't punch me out. And so your boy Daniel was like, okay. He only had one more batter, and that was against Nolan Gorman. And so what happens when he sees Nolan Gorman? Boot, strikes him out. And then he turns to William and says, punch say that, motherfucker. Yeah, and then he goes vamos, and then he goes off. Okay. So, yeah, so he's actually saying I did punch him out. But is that where it goes? Does Willson say, all right, well, you got us, and walk to the dugout? No. Of course he wants to fight. Of course he wants to fight. And so, yeah, man, this is what happens when you have a lot of passion going through a game like this. So I was really curious as to how that was going to work with Willson and Daniel being on the same team with this little bit of history that they had. Now, don't get me wrong. I know baseball players, they have short memories for the most part, but I really was wondering what was behind that. So I had an opportunity to question this. This is what he said about that whole incident.
Played the Cubs because I'm a Cards fan, and I've got your jersey and everything. And Daniel Palencia hit you when y'all played the Cubs, but now he's your teammate. Did y'all have to talk it out, or what's up?
No, I think we talked it out last year. We are emotional guys. We know each other from back then. We were just trying to play mind games like baseball is. Everything is good. I like him. I really love him. He has nasty stuff. I think he has everything to be the best closer in the game. Okay. And I think he's on his way there.
So if you listen to what he said, he's essentially saying, like, listen, man, he hit me, and yeah, we had some words, but we worked it out, and we good now. And he didn't just say that. He said, I like him. And he said, yeah, some of the best stuff he could potentially be one of the very best closers in the league. And he's not a Red Sox. Daniel's still a Cub. So he's big enough. This is what Salvi means. This is what Eugenio Suarez mean when they say it's a family. Not to mention the fact that his brother is on the team as well. So, yeah, man, it's pretty cool. They patched things up even after, he buzzed that tower like this, boy. But I even had to ask him a little bit more. Like, I was wondering from him, directly from the horse's mouth, I wonder what he felt the United States team learned after playing Venezuela. What did they learn about Venezuela? Let's see.
To be the best closer in the game. Okay. And I think he's on his way there.
What did America learn about Venezuela tonight?
That we are one team. We are only one Venezuela. And that we play with a dream to bring the championship back to Venezuela. Respect to United States of America, United States to the team. But we play better tonight.
One time.
Woo! But we played better tonight. Now check it out. You got to keep in mind also, Venezuela has a lot going on right now. A lot of turmoil in the country. Had a president try to steal an election, president that tried to steal the United States airplane. They had a whole political party, I think, trying to overthrow the government. Like, it's just a lot going on right now. They were going around rounding up people that didn't vote for the president. It was just a whole crazy mess. And now you got, and then back then when it all happened, Willson Contreras, and I remember this game, after the stuff started popping off, he literally went to the press. We go into the locker afterwards and we'll start asking questions to the players and all of that. Nah, man, they actually asked him what was going on, and he told them he wished the United States would actually step in to help Venezuela in their time of need. But I was wondering when I talked to him, I was like, interesting. How do you feel about the U.S. now? Because things have changed a little bit. And here's what the man said.
Last year, after the Venezuela happenings, you asked USA to intercede to help with Venezuela. Does it feel good to now show that U.S. actually has to respect Venezuela and their game when they come together?
Yeah, I think we can have a better relationship now. I'm really happy for everything that is happening to our country, to our people, to the people that are living in the United States and every other part of the world. We're just thankful we got time.
And does this help the year start off with a little fuego now that you got the little win now? No,
this is going to help everything this year. I'm just thankful for being part of this team. Thankful with the coaching staff, with the manager, with the lineup. We did our best to win this game.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it was cool to be able to speak with Willson real quick, man, pick his brain, see what it was that he remembered, what he liked, and how he did fare with Daniel Palencia. There's a couple more things I'm going to show y'all quick, and I'm going to go ahead and get y'all up out of here. So in addition to that, as I am covering this for MLB Bros, I did get the opportunity to speak with a couple other players. One in particular was none other than Mr. Byron Buxton himself, who I got to meet his lovely parents, who was like hella cool. They gave me a little bit of time, and I think they liked me to the point where they was like, yo, we gonna let you talk to our son. So when son came out, I definitely had to show out and say, hey, what's going on, Buck? You know what I'm saying? I see you with the Buck truck on by, what it is. So yeah, Buck came out, and I definitely had to see if I could get a couple words from Mr. Buck himself. So yeah, this is what Buck told me after the game. I didn't ask him nothing serious. I didn't want to hit it with no hard balls. Just wanted to holler at the boys, see not only how he felt about the game, but if it was gonna in any way, shape, or form help him as he get through the 162 of the actual regular season. And here's what your boy had to say right quick.
Hey, Mr. Buxton, man, I know the win didn't come out, but you had to get a real good experience. Tell me about the experiences you got out of this WBC whole experience.
Yeah, just being able to come out here with these guys, best of the best of the game, and suit up for Team USA, it's a dream come true. You know, it's not every day that you get to put this uniform on, and everybody don't got the opportunity. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to come out here and play alongside these guys and try to do what we do.
Now, despite the way the game went, does this give you creative juices or even more juices to start the season off a different way than last year or the other years?
Just more so be myself. Obviously, you get your nerves and stuff up, for this, and every game feel like a playoff game, you know, and it's incredible. Like, obviously, I've been in some playoff games, but the atmosphere that you get here, playing for your team, it's unmatched. It was loud tonight, for sure.
Last thing, now this energy is crazy. Do you think that in the year you'll be able to keep the same level of energy you had from the WBC, even as you go through 162?
No chance. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Like, this right here is different. Like, I don't even think fans could do this for 162 games, you know? So it's just something that you take it and don't take it for granted. You know, I cherish this memory forever. Even though it didn't come out the way we wanted to, just being able to put this uniform on and play for U.S. is special.
Well, listen, I'm proud of you, and I think you did your thing. Despite the outcome, it wasn't your fault. Hallelujah.
It's a team, man. Wish we would have came out on top, though.
Yeah. Well, you still got the whole year, man, so good luck to you.
Yeah, so Buck came through, and my goodness, have you seen Buck's family? They are so listen, the ball, they do good work, right? They do good work. The family is incredibly well intact.
One question.
Happy to see that they were able to spend some time. But oh, that's not the right edit. Okay, oops, my bad. Yeah, I'm happy to see that they was able to stay intact, and you know, even with mom and pop. Oh, by the way, like I said, I did get a chance to see mom and pop, and guess what? They like me, I think. Listen to this.
And this is Buxton. This is the man responsible for the Buck truck sign right here, and he refused to quit working.
So yeah, Mr. Buxton evidently hurt his knee, but he, from what I understand,
all right, Mr. Buck senior,
as of recently. And I told him, I like, bro, you need to go ahead and retire, quit on that. And I just asked him, you know, from a black man that likes baseball, for his perspective on what it is like to put a young black man through baseball. Because I'm hearing all these things about, oh, it's so expensive, we don't have the resources, ain't nobody really paying attention to it like that no more. We only play basketball, football now. So I just had to ask him his opinion, Mr. Buxton himself, Papa Buxton, the one who actually drove the truck that made Buck do the Buck truck when he does hit a home run. And this is what he had to say to me about all.
The creator of the Buck truck himself. Mr. I refuse to stop working. Mr. My knee is going to keep me still working. I just want to know, like, there's so many young black boys that want to play baseball, but they might get a little discouraged because they see there's only 6% in the sport. What made you guys push Byron, I should say, to be what he is today?
You have to work hard. You know, you have your parents behind you, and your dad, so you got to work hard. You know, work hard of getting where you need to be.
Now,
that's an everyday hour.
Now, I understand that it's pretty expensive to put young men in baseball. Did it cost you an arm, a leg, a knee maybe to get him all the way to where he is?
Yeah, it took a lot of money. It takes money, you know, to get them where they want to go. But in the long run, it pay off for them.
Was there a moment when you knew that this was what he was meant to do?
Well, when he was coming up, you know, at his age group, he was advancing a whole lot more than his age group. So, I expected him to be where he's going to be at in the near future.
When you going to stop working, Mr. Buxton?
I don't work now.
All right, fine. I'm glad to hear it. You better not be. Let me find out.
Yeah, so it was real fun chatting with them. We actually spoke for a great length of time. The mom is so cool. I think it's a little sister, but I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to get too personal. But yeah, they were definitely so welcoming. And even Pops told me, he was like, I got one more thing to say. I was like, hold on, let me get my camera right. He's like, no, I just want to tell you. And I was like, what's up? He was like, that one play that the center fielder missed, my boy Byron wouldn't have missed it. I was like, oh, so he throwing a little shade at PCA, it sound like, but it's all to the good. But that's his son. Of course, he's going to say his son better. So that was pretty cool for us to witness as well. Once again, man, all of this stuff is happening, and it's just such a refreshing experience for me, for not only to see the Venezuelans acting as happy as they were, but also to see just what I saw on the field from the Venezuelan not the crowd, but the actual players. There were so many of them, and they just had such passion. You could see it in some of their eyes. Like I said, you could see it with Mikael Garcia, but even Omar Lopez. Now, I know you all probably saw this on TV, but here's what it sounded like in the actual crowd when Omar got the mic and was able to speak. This is the manager of the Venezuelan team. That seems so that was electric, as well as just seeing like folks like Eugenio Suarez pour their hearts into the interviews afterwards, sit there and say everything that they believe was relevant and get as much as they possibly could by way of promotion for their team and their country out.
Hey, Mr. Buxton, man, I know.
And I just love that, man. I just love that they was able to really, truly not only enjoy themselves, but also put on for a country that deserves to get some good news right now. That maybe doesn't necessarily want to have to be the poster child of, political turmoil and stuff like that, and would love to just be able to celebrate a win from a team that worked together to get what it is that they all wanted, which was the victory over one of the most difficult to beat teams in the world, Team USA, of course. So let's go ahead and start wrapping up here real quick, man. I just want to show y'all a couple more items from the vibes section, and then I'll go ahead and relieve you of having to sit here and deal with me. So yeah, I did get a chance to see all the other media outlets doing their thing. Here's a couple of images of some of the players you might recognize. Some of them being interviewed, some of them are still just kind of going through the motions of just realizing what it is that happened in that time that they were playing up against Team USA. And here, like I said, you can even see just the way they're so emotional. Now, you already know, for the fans, Eugenio is just a really, really, really emotional dude anyway. He know he Jesus. He God, and it's all due to God. He get to pray. And so it was cool to see him get a chance to get his shine, because he did hit the winning RBI in, and that's just pretty dope. I also got Andres Jimenez answering a few questions, and there's a whole host. I'm not gonna sit here and bore y'all with each and every last person that I had a chance to come across, or each and every last person that I ran into, but just know the vibes was definitely sick. All right, so on the way out, let me just go ahead and resurface that Venezuelan vibe that I was talking about. So here's what essentially happened with me. So I didn't want to leave. I literally didn't want to leave. I was there to listen, it was like 12 o'clock. Game had been over. I did not want to go. I was really having a good time, and it just hit me that I had to leave. I start leaving, and then I notice something's going on. It kind of hit me when I was walking outside, and I heard a lot of loud chatter. In fact, I think I recall actually saying, I think I have the moment that I did realize something was happening on camera. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Hold on, check this out. I was like, there's something going on right now. Yeah, here it is. This is me when I realized, oh snap, They still partying. Now, mind you, this is at 1 in the morning that this stuff is happening that I'm about to show you right now. This is at 1 in the morning. Check this out, man. Who else does this? What do you think the United States is going to be up doing this thing right here?
Evidently. Some of these fans, they having a good ass time, boy. They just beat the United States. Whoa, Mita.
Yeah, that's right. This is the part where I realized they was having a block party over there on the block. And I went over there, man, and yo, this was the vibes. I showed you a little bit, but here's the rest.
That's my shirt. That's my shirt.
There's a little more for those who didn't think that was enough. This is what's going on over here. Check it out. Listen to the vibe. Oh, man. It's the whole quinceañera in the parking lot. Come on, man. What is going on right now? Oh, they calm a little bit down at the end, didn't they? Okay, because they certainly wasn't calming down the whole entire time. And they love the spotlight too. Don't let you mess around and have a camera and want to shine a little light on them right quick. I love the vibe so much. I just had to keep going. So here's some more. Yo, the whole street is lit. You see this? And did you notice what I noticed just now? There is you know how they say the enemy of my enemy is my friend? You may have noticed if you was looking closely, at one point in time, somebody from the Team Japan fan base and somebody from the Team Venezuela fan base decided we are going to be juntos. Look at that. These players don't even root for the same team. But what do they have in common? They both, as of right now, in the last two WBCs, managed to pull off upsets with the United States, who claims to be the best of the best. And what we're starting to realize is that's really the best of the nation, because some of the best that are on their teams are members of these countries. And that's what makes them even better. Because when you put them on, leave them on to their own devices, at least in 23 and 26, they have not been able to get the job done. So shout out to the Venezuelans, man, for being able to enjoy their full self on the field. As this was right before I caught an Uber back to my car. It was a giant sauce hot dog piece of a hot dog. It was a sausage. I don't really know what's the name to the sausage. So yeah, man, definitely a fun night. Completely crazy. Did I show the dance battle? It was like a couple of girls, I think, that were in there, and they was doing like a little doopsie-do dancey dance. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if I got it all. Did I get it? That's gonna be the last thing I show if I did. Ooh, you know what? Even if I did, I don't feel like. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I think I showed a little bit of this already, but just in case, check this out real quick because I think this is also kind of fun. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I really wish I had like a Venezuelan friend right now because I want somebody to explain to me what is going on. Like, is this like tradition Venezuelan dance? They all dance in a circle. They hold their jackets up. They do a little spin around. And what exactly is going on right now? This is breached. This is like as if say the Braves won the World Series, then out they started reverse tailgating and was playing Uncle Luke and a bunch of booty music and was twerking and all that. I guess I could see it. I guess this is their version of celebrating. It just was crazy because this is at 1:30 in the morning. The game ended at like 11 something. This is at 1. Either they lived down the street or they had nowhere to go the next day, or they was all waiting for a ride, or they all had flights canceled, or they was just so vibing that they was like, bro, we ain't going nowhere. This is what we came for, to celebrate our country, to celebrate our team, to celebrate our culture. And that's what we're here to do. So we ain't going to leave until every last bit of energy is spent. And for that, and for that, and for that, Venezuela, I say thank you. So yeah, man, I got more vibes to talk. I got more things to chat about. This has already been well over my usual 20, 30 minute talk time. I just had to go ahead and give a quick video/photo dump. Oh, I didn't get to tell y'all this one thing real quick. Last thing real quick. Go ahead. Hey, cut the music right quick. Cut the music. Okay. The only thing I didn't get to tell you about was oh, did I delete it? I didn't mean to. I meant to tell you about my my happenings with Bryce Harper, and how I ended up getting this picture. All right, so I was going around trying to interview essentially everybody that I could that I felt interested in. I mean, I saw a few players. I saw Bobby Witt Jr., I saw Mason Miller, I saw Taylor Rogers and his brother Trevor, even though Trevor, I think, was just there in support. Saw Schwartz, didn't see Judge, but I didn't go to the press conference either. I missed that to be on the field. And I saw, a whole lot of those folks. But Bryce Harper, as he did have that crazy inning where he hit that home run and knocked it out the park so fast, and he even had the ability, had the wherewithal to not only hit the home run, but to pimp it in a manner that made it so that he actually showed that the U.S. had a little bit of swag as well. So y'all owe Bryce Harper a little bit more respect, Mr. Dombrowski. This dude is elite. He is the only one that hit multiple hits in this game, and one of them saved them. Otherwise, it would have been a very, very, very sad show because they would have been shut out without a Bryce Harper home run right there. And the passion is love. So when I approached him and was like, hey, man, can I ask you a couple questions right quick? And he was like what? I was like, I just wanted to know. I wanted to walk through your at bat and how you knew to swing and what were you reading when you were up against the pitcher in the 8th inning that led you to get the ball hit out the park. And he looked at me and he said, can we just take a picture? And I was like, I was like, sure, man, let's just take a picture. And I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't want a picture. But I was like, well, we're here now. And we took a picture. And he put the game face on. He smiled. It looks authentic. Everything's cool. But that's why I ain't smiling, because I'm like, man, ain't nobody want to take no picture, bro. I want to interview. But I ain't mad though, because you got to think about it, man. Who wants to be the dude on the side of the losing team who's sitting there bragging or even talking about his swing when his team is low-key kind of in mourning? So I don't think this was a slight at me. Bryce gave me real cool vibes. There was a lot of people walking up to him, and he was taking a lot of pictures, and he was smiling and being cool with everybody. He didn't have to do that, and he didn't have to take a picture with me either. But he at least was like, "Nah, man, let me just take a picture." And I was like, all right, fine, that's cool. I did want actually an interview, but I will settle for a picture. But in addition to this, man, he said that, but a lot of other folks said a lot of other cool things as well on the way out. All right, when I was sitting there at the WBC, we got a chance to see not just that they won, but a couple folks said some really cool things, including none other than Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker, who said, I genuinely love watching the World Baseball Classic, even though he was actually in it. You know, he's a coach for the manager for the Nicaraguan team, and he speaks a little Spanish too. He can speak it Spanish. So I talked with him in Spanish earlier, actually later last year at the winter meetings, and we hablar en español para un momento, pero solamente para un momento, porque no sabemos todas las palabras. And he was like, yeah, I could talk it a little bit. But yeah, he said, listen, man, this year has been a tremendous success, and I believe the WBC has done the job it needed to do of growing the game. And guess what has to happen for you to grow the game? The same team can't win over and over. So it's a good thing that the U.S. gave somebody else the opportunity to get a win, because that's going to make more Venezuelan kids like the game, and it's going to make more folks in that nation want to come up and do even bigger and better things. In addition to that, as I already previewed, CC Sabathia also said, shout out to Venezuela, earned that from the jump, putting on a clinic most of the game. And then an immediate response after 2-2, USA just couldn't get the bats going. Incredible WBC from the start. Could not agree with you more, my friend CC Sabathia. Y'all know that's my boy, right? Let's do it. So yeah, man, on that note, we're gonna go ahead. Oh, that's my shirt. We're going to go ahead and ayudo, Cole tu madre up out of here, man. And I hope that you all are getting geared up for the actual regular season as spring training is coming to a close. Players are finally going back to their homes prospectively, albeit grapefruit or cactus. And we get to see what teams are made of what this year. I'll be back consistently, not just yet. I'll drop a video, maybe do a live once in a while again. But when the season actually starts, I'm talking opening day in the next couple weeks, I will be back on my grind, pulling up on a regular schedule, of which I will announce here shortly. And hopefully my dogs at the MLB Bros and Gamble and all of them will be willing to join me on occasion so we can chat these things out. But yeah, shout out to the Venezuelan team. Shout out to the Venezuelan crack for bringing the sauce and the drums and the fuego en la Ruiz, en la energía para todos los partidos que tenemos este año, que tuvimos. All right? So shout out to y'all. Keep doing what you're doing and keep pulling up. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you like any part of this video. I do sincerely appreciate you. And hey, we're going to go ahead and keep covering baseball with flavor like it's chocolate. So I hope to see y'all again on the next video. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Deuces.
Ábreme la rueda.